couple massage me. He's like, how come I have to listen to you speak the whole time? Like, and I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm like, dude.
I'm like, leave me alone. But every once in a while, I'll get somebody who's like, I don't want to talk, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be the longest hour ever.
Right.
Get undressed, get under the sheets. Ooh, you're in for a treat. No, I promise this is not a dream. It's just a happy ending with Joy Eileen.
So on the table today, I have Shawn Pelofsky.
Yay! It's good to be here. Kinda naked.
Kinda naked, yay! Okay, so like I said, I've been thinking about this all day long.
Okay.
Because I do have a confession.
You killed John Benet Ramsey?
I did.
There's always one.
I did, because she was blonde and prettier than me, and whatever.
Good. We can finally sleep at night, because that mystery is it pulls on my heartstrings.
Well, this might pull as well. I don't know if you remember, but probably about a year ago, there was a couple in the front row at the original room.
Yes.
And you asked them how they kept their marriage alive.
Yes.
And the chubby but adorable wife decided to say pegging.
I remember that.
Proceeded to take the microphone from your hand and explain what pegging was to the whole audience.
Was that you?
Yeah.
God, I knew you looked familiar. And I thought it's just because I had seen you at the store.
Uh-huh.
And when I ran into you the other night, I thought, oh my gosh. And when you asked me to do this podcast, I thought, oh, fellow comedian. But that is the reason why I remember your face.
That was almost the night I got divorced.
Well, because why? He didn't want you to talk about the pegging.
No, he was like...
pegging's a thing. Howard Stern talks about it all the time.
He was like, Joy... Because so what happened is I wrote a pegging joke, like pretty much that day.
Uh-huh.
And I was telling him about it, and he's like, I don't want you to tell that joke when I'm in the audience. He's like, I don't care if you do it at open mics when I'm not there. And so when you were like, what keeps your marriage together? And I was like, pegging!
It was so funny.
And he was, oh my God. And then the whole night, like Bobby Lee and all of them were like, oh, you look like a big tough man. And then the whole audience is like giggling.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, he gets pegged though. And
those are one of those moments though that I really do appreciate. When people be like, oh, did you remember when this and that? And through, like 18 years of performing, I totally remember that moment. Like it was yesterday.
They liked it.
Sure. I mean, your husband, I'm not quite sure did, but... What you were throwing me off is that you were the way you described yourself. You're like, well, there was this like this chubby woman, like the way you just described yourself. That's why I was like, well, it wasn't going to be her, but I remember. Okay, so it was obviously someone I talked to, but then how could this be her? But I do remember you saying pegging now.
Oh yeah,
that's hilarious.
And then I was like going home, and I'm all, did I really take the microphone from her hand? Like, who does that?
Oh, I don't mind at all. That's what I embrace. I mean, it's the reason why they put me on first at the Comedy Store. Not only because it's the vagina spot, but it is, my skill is working with the audience. And when someone hands me comedy gold, such as you did, I mean, I knew what pegging was, but,
right.
You have to play with that moment. And there are people in the audience who don't.
Yes.
And you really made their night memorable because of that. I mean, you put yourself out there. And it was funny. And I enjoyed it. And if I'm enjoying myself on stage, it's a rarity. So
is it really?
Thank you for that. No, I mean, I do. But I think, comics are tortured souls. So when we get up there and, maybe sometimes you're overthinking or sometimes you're not. Sometimes I really don't overthink it and I don't care. It just depends how my day's been. And especially in a room like the original room when, it's I believe that's the hardest room in town.
I agree.
And I think sometimes, you just got to be confident in your your what's the word I'm looking for? Why am I blanking? In your performance. performance and your presentation. And if you don't have that, then you're going to crumble in that room. And sometimes if things aren't, there's a deader audience, and since this Comedy Store's haunted too, you can kind of see it right away. You're like, oh God, this audience is just going to make me work. And when it's nights like that, it's so fun to have like the pianist Jeff Scott there.
I love him
because I can turn to that queen and I'd be like, hey Jeff, is this show over yet? And he'll be like, not yet, Shawn. And I'll be like, I'm exhausted. And I'm like, this isn't going well, is it, Jeff? He's like, it's not, Shawn. And I'm like, should I end my career now, Jeff? Is it over? He's like, it's over. But I think you should keep going, And I'm like, thanks for the encouragement, Jeff. I think I'll keep doing it, So it's that room, anything can happen. So I'm very pleased now that you because when I saw you the other night, I just was like, I really know her face well, but it's probably just because I see her around here. So thank you for placing, because the older you get, your memory gets a little foggy, but I exactly remember that moment.
Oh yeah, I get it. Like I said, I turned 37 on Saturday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well, I love when you told me earlier, you're like, oh, I'm a really loyal person, and I was about to ask you, I was like, she must be a Leo. And then Cancer's a loyal too, though.
Yes, but I'm like stalker loyal. Like you can't
I love
leave
that.
me.
That's what? That's a good trait. A lot of people have no loyalty, and especially in comedy, forget about it.
That is very hard. That's a lesson I'm learning as we speak right now, because people were like, oh yeah, I'll get you on a show, and they're not loyal. And I'm also one of those, I have to be on time, or I will stress out if I'm late, which you just saw. So it's because a lot of comedians are so lax.
I'll walk through fire for you.
That's how I am.
But I also have a problem if you cross me and you show your disloyalty, especially as a friend. Oh my God, you get the pink slip. You're dead to me.
Really?
Dead.
Oh
Dead.
God.
And the people don't know that side about me, really, because my close friends do. But as a person, I try and be as nice and kind to people as I can be, because I really value human life, and I think it's important to be nice to people.
I agree. But see, I'll give you as many chances. Like, I have sidewalk tattooed across my forehead, which is why I stay the size that I am, because, it's nice and soft to step on me. I'm like, here, step right here where my spleen is. It'll give your foot massage.
But how about, with your husband? Are my tits just hanging out here?
No,
I have giant boobs, and it's uncontrollable, and so I'm sorry if they just pop out, because I'm just
see, mine pop out because I let them. I'm like, here, look at these. It's the only thing I got.
Yeah, but for me, even when I lose weight, my tits just stay like watermelons. I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, it's can you just go down like a bra size, anything?
No, I lost 70 pounds.
Are you kidding?
I found it. It's okay. Yeah, my boobs stayed the same size. I'm like, what? Where are we going? But when I was pregnant, I went to a G, and my husband we still have that bra. He's like, you can't throw that out. I'm like,
but that's what I am.
You're a G.
I go between a 32. I used to be a triple D.
That's what I am.
Then they were getting bigger, and I was like, really? I didn't have a baby, and I wasn't gaining a tremendous amount of weight. But yeah, sometimes I have to get a G bra, and how easy those are to find.
Yeah.
It's Victoria's Secret doesn't believe in giant boobs. And it's you got to go to specialty places, or thank God for Nordstrom's. They're the only ones that provide a decent looking bra that doesn't look like your grandma's for giant boobs.
Now there is a place, where is it?
Is it called the Wizard of Bras?
Yeah.
I've heard of this. No, I've heard of it. The Wizard of Bras.
I've never been there, but
where is it? It's in the valley somewhere, right?
I think so.
It's like Burbank, or
I think so. But somebody was like, "You gotta go to the Wizard of Bras." Well,
yeah, there's that Agent Provocateur store, which is it's the couture of lingerie and bras, and they have for bigger breasted women, but the bras itself are $550.
Holy crap.
And then the panties to match are another $500. So, and unless you got the cash to provide for that, it's just something that you can look at and admire from afar.
Well, see, I don't wear panties, so I'm cool there.
Well, look at you. What's your worries, huh?
Right, exactly. exactly. Everything matches me.
Cut to me, my jockey for hers. All right. Well, guess that's the difference. You peg, and I wear jockey for hers.
Just for the record, because I know I make him listen to every one of these. Never pegged John. I threatened him with it, and it all started because I had a really abusive ex-boyfriend.
Oh no!
Whatever. And I'm pretty sure he was gay, but he lived in Texas, and his dad was a cotton farmer. So you
had a gay abusive boyfriend?
I'm pretty sure he was gay.
It was like, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to play Streisand tunes.
Right? I'm going to sing Bette Midler to you all night long.
That's hilarious.
So he would make me peg him. Well, I didn't have a strap on. I would just have a dildo, and I would watch TV while I was just having fun with him. And I told John about that once, and he was like, "Wait, really?" He goes, "What'd you do with that dildo?" And I go, "Well, actually, I threw it in the Goodwill bin because I didn't know what else to do with it."
In the Goodwill bin?
Yeah. I'm going to hell.
Now, that's like someone picking up used lipstick. I've seen that. I went shopping. You know the comic Vicky Barbalak?
Uh-huh.
So, oh my God, when I first met her, she loved thrift stores. So, Shanika, come with me. We went to this, I had a gig in Santa Barbara, and we went to this thrift store in Santa Barbara, and she was looking at the used makeup and lipstick. I said, lipstick? You can't be like repurchasing somebody's lipstick. Like, shit goes around. I gave her such a hard time about that. It's so funny. She just would drag me out to the thrift shops, which I never could get on board with. That whole concept, I'm always in there. If I'm in a thrift store, it's usually looking for like a costume or something last minute for a sketch. But it's never like, you know what I'd really like? I feel like I need a nice pair of used shoes or something that I don't know where everything's getting. And I've given my stuff to thrift shops because there are people who do embrace it, who do enjoy it. So,
and I wish I could. It's just, one, I'm not a very patient shopper, so to have to go through racks and racks, that sounds awful to me. Yeah. And I don't like my body either, so shopping is not fun when you don't like your body. You're just like, oh, is there any like burlap sacks around here?
Yeah, I understand that. I don't love my body, but I do enjoy shopping. I find it very cathartic, and when I can, it seems like all the problems in the world go away. But some people would say maybe it's a hobby. I call it a problem, but I enjoy shopping, and I think that the older I get, the more I start to really love coutures, and I started to look at like designer handbags and appreciate designer shoes. And it's not that I own a lot of that, but I do like to look at it thinking like, oh, what if, one day, walking down some place I lived in Beverly Hills for like 20 years, and I just never really looked at all, the like Rodeo Drive. Now when I walk down, it's like I find myself going into the stores and actually picking up the item and looking at it and looking at the price and like eyeballing it, dreaming.
You know what though? I get that, because when I did lose all that weight, I was like, yes, and I love to shop. But then, of course.
How'd you lose 70 pounds?
Okay, so it was the day after Mother's Day, after my youngest son. We went to the movies, and my sister-in-law took a picture of me humping a cardboard cutout of Vin Diesel, because, that's what you do when you see a cardboard cutout of Vin Diesel.
Hello.
And she showed it to me, and I'm
like,
right, exactly. And I'm like, is that what I look like? And she's like, no, that's just a bad angle. And I'm all, that's a lot of angles. And so I ate horribly that whole day. And then that Monday, I went gluten-free, dairy-free, corn-free.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so the day after Mother's Day until Christmas, I lost 70 pounds.
That's a lot of free.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, let's go over it. Gluten-free, yes, I know that.
Uh-huh.
Dairy-free, I know. And then you went corn-free. Now, how did corn-free get in the mix?
Well, corn-free, because anything that has like a high fructose corn syrup in it is just a lot of preservative type food. So as long as I didn't eat anything that had like the high fructose corn syrup, I was getting stuff that was...
Which is like what?
Like any type of salad dressings, and just anything that was bad for you, really. It's like the cereals and everything like that. So I just didn't do corn because I guess corn, obviously you don't digest it because it comes out the way it goes in.
Yeah.
And so it's just not good for you, and it's just extra calories that you really don't need.
Because I never heard anyone say, I'm corn free. So
right.
That's a first.
And I mean, it went, and I just had this willpower. Like, oh, if I could find that willpower again. I was just so good. And then on Christmas Day, John's stupid aunt made raisin oatmeal cookies, which are my favorite.
Yeah.
And I had one, and I think by the time New Year's rolled around, I was 10 pounds heavier. Just like everything went in my mouth after that.
It seems like you kept all that off.
No.
Really?
I'm a big girl now.
Oh, I don't think so. I think you need to get a better idea of yourself. I don't look at you like that, and you shouldn't look at yourself like that. I don't think anybody looks at you like that.
I don't know. It's just hard.
Do you like how this became like a motivation?
Right? I love it.
Oh my gosh! I became Dr. Phil, laying here.
It's usually us when we're by ourselves.
Right.
Like, but you're so awesome.
It's hard though, because you go to open mics with these little 20-year-olds that call me Mama Joy, and I love you guys, but I'm also 37, so and they're all skinny, and then you get up on stage and they're like, oh, I took pictures of you, and I'm like, why would you do that to me? Like, yeah. So that's the hard part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, I always laugh anytime the Comedy Store takes pictures of me from the stage. It's the worst. I look like Attila the Hun hit the stage. Like, everyone seems to look normal in their pictures. And somehow, so I hate when people take pictures and they don't, ask you about it, or they just put stuff up there, and I get it. I mean, it's easy to get, a body dysmorphia, especially in this town, where everyone is, 15 pounds and a lollipop head.
Right.
And whatever. And I mean, it's not really completely normal, and you are, and you're a pretty person, and I think, you're seeing yourself a different way, and I get it. I don't look at myself and see anything spectacular, and I just want to change everything all the time.
Which is funny because you're adorable, and I love your hair.
Oh, you're so nice.
Because I don't have a lot.
You know the way to my heart. Just compliment a Leo's hair. You like my hair. Hair's everything. If you don't have your hair ready to go, then that's, even when I was overseas entertaining the troops, and we'd have to be on a Black Hawk at 4 a.m, I would get up at 2 a.m. I would do my hair in a tiny compact mirror with my I would, whatever I could do to figure anything out, just so I could have my hair done. And if my hair's not done, then the whole world's going to pay for it. If it's not going right, then I'm going to be angry. That's always been that's number one important, and first thing for me to get ready is, if I didn't even, a face is nice to have on too. I'm not the one to roll out with no makeup on. That's not my game. People make fun of me. I am that person that goes to the gym with some makeup on, and I don't care. You can say all you want to me, but I run into people. I don't need to scare anybody. This is it. There's nothing a la naturel going on here, and you're just going to have to deal with it. And I've been like that since a kid. My mom was that way too.
I was kind of that way. It's just, I don't have a lot of hair. I have ridiculously thin, fine hair.
Yeah, so. I have really thin hair. You would not believe it.
I don't.
But I put a lot of product in it. I put a gel, and then it makes it thicker. Then I have when I curl it every day, because I have really straight, thin hair. I look like kind of Axl Rose back in the day. If I put on a headband, a handkerchief over my head, a bandana, not a handkerchief, one of my 900. If I put a bandana over my head and my hair's straight, I can do a serious Axl Rose impression like none other. But
I don't believe it.
I don't, but a lot of people see that. I mean, my husband really didn't know I had straight hair for a long time.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, I curl it, I tease it, I spray it. I mean, you just gotta... Thin hair is no fun.
It's not.
It sucks.
And then people are like, oh my God, I have so much hair. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. It's just about product.
Because I see Eleanor too. Eleanor's hair is, I'm like, man, how? But I also don't have a lot of patience to do my hair.
Yeah, I have a lot of patience, so I have to.
Because I have 3 boys.
Oh my gosh, you have 3?
I have 3 boys.
How old are they?
17, 12, and 7.
17?
He's my stepson.
Okay, I was like, when did he come out?
But I've been around him since he was 3. He's mine.
3 boys.
Yes.
Gosh, that's a handful.
It's something special.
How are you even standing right now?
I don't know.
Like, boys are hard. I've always said this. Like, usually they're easier as children than they are as, they're easier as teens than they are as children. And then it's reversed for girls. I always, my friends that have boys, we were 3 girls in my family and then my mom had a boy. But to watch people with all boys, it's
hard.
It's a lot of work.
And then, like, the oldest has a girlfriend now, and it's a lot of drama. I'm like, I don't like it. Because I was so used to, okay, boys, yeah, they're going to break things. Yeah, we don't have nice things in our house.
Right.
Everything's plastic.
Right.
And that was kind of, like, they're wild. There's video games everywhere. They're going to wear underwear when they get home. That's their thing.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, okay, that's how life is. And then she came in the picture, and it, like, changed, and he's on the phone all the time, and he's grumpy. It's a whole different dynamic. I'm like, okay, I don't want girls in the picture.
Do you like her?
I liked her at first because she had a lot of drive.
Uh-huh.
She has her pilot's license. She was taking night classes in college while she was high school. And I'm like, yes, like girl power. And then her and Tyler really got serious. And then she stopped taking night classes. She hasn't been up in a plane since she got her license. And she kind of just stopped, and they don't have any friends. It's just them in their own little bubble. Uh-huh. And it makes me sad because I'm like, you guys are letting things go just so you can be together.
Right.
And so, Don is... Don Barris likes to tell me every time he sees me, he's like, you know what your son's doing right now, right? I'm like, what? You know he's fucking right now.
Oh, God.
No.
Don, always putting everybody's mind at ease.
Oh, yeah. Don called him once on the Ding Dong show. He called Tyler, and he's like, hey, Tyler, how you doing? And I'm like, please stop. And he's like, yeah, I got your parents here, and we just want to know if you... Oh, first of all, he goes, what's your girlfriend's name? And Tyler goes, Jade. And then I whispered to the audience, the whore. And then Tyler, he goes, how's Jade? Like, what's her attitude? And he's like, well, she's sassy. She's got opinions. And I'm like, she's a bitch. And he's like, well, your parents are here, and they just want to know if you and her have taken it to the next level. And this is all on YouTube, and I'm... Ugh. And, they really, really want you to say yes. Like, they really want you to say that you've had sex. And I'm looking at him like, please stop, please stop, please stop. And then he's like, so what is it, Tyler? And Tyler goes, I don't know. And the whole audience was like, he's not a virgin anymore. Your son.
I don't know. Oh, that poor kid.
Oh, I know.
Put on the spot.
Yeah. And then Don hands me the microphone back, and he's like, okay, continue to do your set. And I'm like, huh? Like funny words, punchline, setup. I don't... What?
Is he close with the other boys, or are the 2 boys younger than him closer, or do they all get along?
They all get along. I mean, they're all brothers, so they all, they get annoyed with each other. But we rose them. We raised them where it was just, these are your brothers. This is all. And I always tell the kids, because I'm not a good mom, I'm like, I'm gonna die, and you guys are all you're gonna have. So you better make it, and you better love each other, because I'm gonna be gone. Probably isn't the best thing to tell your kids, but yeah.
No, you know what? You have a point there, though. It's smart. It's true, because it's hard. You want to raise a close family, and when a parent, if you've experienced that, I experienced that this year. Yeah, my mom got really sick out of the blue and passed away, and it took a toll on my family. So, I think that's a really, my mom used to say, these are your sisters and your brother. You gotta love one another. There's nothing, closer than a sister or a brother. So I think it's the right mentality.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that I was there one night when you played the voicemail of your mom.
Oh, yeah.
On stage. That was so cute.
I know. When I changed phones, I accidentally lost that voicemail. I had saved it for so long, and it kills me that I never thought to email it to myself, and I lost it. And I regret that,
right.
To this day, especially when she passed. I think about how funny how funny she was, and always taught me to appreciate comedy, and she had a great sense of humor. But yeah, I love that was such a funny. I mean, my mom did leave funny voicemails.
That's how my mom is.
Yeah, I think that's why moms are on this earth, to leave funny voicemails.
Oh, I think so too.
Usually my mom's messages are crazy. She'll be in a store like, so I found a new kind of spice. It's a rub. I think like they've got a whole bunch of different kinds. There's this one, and I think that your husband would really like that one, but your dad would like this one better because it doesn't have so much of a bite. And she just goes on and on describing them. Which one should I get? And I'm like, you're in Utah. I don't actually care.
See, all of my mom's voicemail messages start with, "Hi, sissy, it's me, Mom."
Yep.
And then she stops and waits like I'm an answer, like it's an answering machine.
Yep.
And I'm like, "Mom," and she has a cell phone.
Uh-huh.
She knows it's a voicemail, but she still waits. Like, "Hi, sissy," and I'm like, "Mom."
Were you guys like so shocked? Do your parents text?
Yes.
And so my mom would write text like a letter.
Oh.
You know, "Dear Shawn, comma." And then, you know, it was "Love, Mom," like a letter.
Yeah.
"Love, comma, Mom," in letter form.
My mom does that. But like with Facebook.
Yeah.
That's cute. See, my dad is the texter, but my dad's also Eeyore. So he's like, "Hi, sissy. Am I ever going to get to see my grandkids again? Me and Mom are just sitting here dying by ourselves and nobody's..." Oh my gosh.
And they're in Utah?
No, my parents are in Madera.
That's here. That's in California, right?
Yeah, Fresno.
Yeah. So how often do you take them to see the...
Pretty often. And actually they're going pretty soon, right before summer's going to end. They're going to go spend a week with Grandma and Grandpa. So we will be at the store every night, because that's what we do.
God. Oh my God. You sure you don't want to go to like Hawaii or something?
No.
Okay.
No. I
That's
like the store. I love the store. I love being embraced in the store.
Yeah, it sucks you in.
It does.
It really, there is no place like it. It definitely feels... It feels like it's a, well, for me, it's a home.
Uh-huh.
And I don't feel that way at any other club.
Now, did you ever get to meet Mitzi?
Not only did I meet Mitzi, she passed me, and I was...
Joy just came.
I did.
Yeah, Mitzi was extraordinary. I remember showcasing in front of her at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, which I was very lucky because she was looking for women to put in the belly room shows upstairs to bring the belly room back to life. And I thought to myself, oh, you know, I was lucky I wasn't showcasing at the LA Comedy Store, because when she would sit in the back of the room and on showcase night, comics would come up to her and cockblock whoever was on stage to keep them from passing. And so when she came to see me in La Jolla, nobody was there to do that to me.
Nice.
And I didn't get just 3 minutes. I got 10 minutes.
Oh.
And I was told, you know, one of two things. She'll stop you if she wants to pass you, or she ignores you. So I got done with my set, and I walked past her, and she put her hand out, and, you know, and I guess she appreciated my Barbra Streisand impression, and she said, "Barbara, you're funny."
No.
And I knew, you know, what had happened there, and I knew I got past, and I drove home so elated that night. You know, usually I get tired driving at night, but I drove a car full of, like, friends, some big SUV car my friend had come down in, and they'd all had drinks, so I drove home just elated, going over that moment in my head. And then she started putting me up, and if it wasn't for Mitzi Shore, I wouldn't be anywhere. I owe everything to her.
I love that.
And I got invited to her 80th birthday party.
Oh.
And it was incredible. It was just, I can't even explain what an honor, you know, it was to be at our house with maybe about 30 people. And like Jim Carrey walked in, and he kneeled down at her feet and started crying. You know, I mean, it was just, she was celebrated, and I would go visit with her once in a while and sit with her, and I always sent her like Hanukkah and Passover cards, and I knew she liked black licorice.
Oh.
And I'd always bring her a big thing of black licorice, and And then I saw her 2 days before she passed, and she lived near me. So Jeff Scott and I were very lucky to get in. We reached out to her caregiver, and I know her family, and they really weren't letting people in, and somehow they let us in to sit down with her, and she was very present. She could, she was listening, and I just told her everything I needed to say to her, and I felt like she had more time. She was very resilient, and I just told her everything. And when we got to leave, her caregiver said, that she's crying.
Oh.
And that just hurt. It hurt my soul. But I let her know how important she was to me. And just, this year was not my favorite year with people passing. And it was hard. I felt like I lost 2 mothers this year.
Right.
And it was like one on top of the other.
Ugh.
But I will never forget what she has done for me, and how great that club is.
I love that. Because when I started going to the store, I didn't even think about stand-up, and then I started watching, and I'm like, that is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then I started researching it because I'm a super nerd. So I researched like the Comedy Store, and then I found out about Mitzi, and then John and I read like every book we could possibly get our hands on about her. And I named one of my dogs Mitzi Short because she's a Chihuahua.
That's cute.
So I was like, she's my hero, and everybody's like, yeah, but she wasn't the nicest person. I'm like, well, no hero should be. Like, she was human.
She was. I told her there was a time where I got banned from the Comedy Store one night, and it was the silliest thing. I had gone to eat at Carney's with Cynthia Levin, another comic, after our sets one night. And then after we were done, right before we were leaving Carney's, I was like, let's get one of those frozen chocolate bananas. And it's this big, big banana. It was huge, and it was like curved and covered in chocolate. So we go to the Comedy Store, and somehow, I don't know how it happened, Cynthia starts chasing me around the Comedy Store with this big black, chocolate banana.
Phallus.
Yeah, and I'm laughing. We just think it's so funny. I don't know. We just resorted to 3rd grade. We thought it was funny.
That's what you do, yeah.
And we run through that back room that's it's the room that connects the 2 stairways to the office, to the belly room, and connects to that VIP bar and where the kitchen is. And there was a booth there, and Mitzi was on the booth getting her feet massaged, and we ran in, and she, we stopped when we saw her. And we're like, oh, hey, Mitzi. And her face, she was just... And so, like, they didn't put me on for 2 weeks. Oh. And the booker told me, Mitzi was really disappointed with your behavior. Like, I got scolded for, like, that's just not like you. And you would have thought, like, I had accosted a customer or punched another comedian. But no, I just was getting chased by a chocolate banana.
But it was enough.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But then the ban only lasted 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was, I was just kind of surprised, caught in my tracks for that one.
Right. Now, did you start comedy out here?
Yeah. I started comedy. I went to USC, and I was in the School of Theater. And so when I was a kid, I always did characters and plays, and I always played the funny character. I always did like impressions, and but I loved acting, and I loved comedic acting. And ideally, well, that's not a word. Ideally, I wanted to be on SNL. Well, that was my dream. I was really just a big fan of Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
So when I went to USC School of Theater, I always played the comedic role in any play I could. And in high school, I would compete in humorous interpretation, duets, comedy duets, and it's just how kind of people knew me. And I never took anything really serious. I mean, I took the pursuit of it serious. And while I was in college, I was part of an improv troupe on campus that performed every Friday on the lawn in front of the library at USC, and we'd get a big audience.
Nice.
And so at some point when I graduated, while I was going to college, I was working an internship at Paramount, and someone told me about the Groundling. So I started training at like 19 at the Groundlings. And so I would take 2 classes a night, drive from school, and I just was really green. I had very thin skin. And I was in classes with people like Will Ferrell. He was like a bank teller. You know, it was just, it was nuts.
Right.
And people were so good. And I thought I was good enough, but the teacher, I had one teacher, like I was taught by Mindy Sterling, who's a big comedic actress. And, you know, at the time, like Lisa Kudrow was, and Kathy Griffin. These people were all, Chris Kattan, they were all teachers at the Groundlings. And this one teacher I had when I advanced to the lab, the 3rd level, was just so mean to me and brutal. And I think it was just because sometimes I would come in my sorority letters. Yeah, I was in a sorority, which is, well, don't worry, we were the funny fat Asian girls, so there was nothing that was popular about us at USC. But we, nonetheless, what my sorority letters, probably to her, because she was from the South, probably meant something, you know, snooty or this or that. And when I walked in one day with the sorority letters, I remember her going, oh, you know, my mom was in that sorority. I didn't get in Alabama. And then from then on, she just saw me as some dumb college kid who was wide-eyed. And I didn't understand, but she wasn't nice to me. So I left the Groundlings earlier than I should have, but I just couldn't take it.
Right.
And I would just go home crying, dreading it all. And with time, when I graduated USC, I ended up joining Acme Comedy Theater, which was the Groundlings competition. And it's all sketch comedy. And I got part of their B company and just started training with that. And I took a stand-up class right away with Judy Carter right after college, but I never did anything with it, you know? Maybe I do stand-up once a year, and I go, oh, I'm a stand-up.
Yes.
But I was really involved in sketch comedy when I realized people weren't really running to the theater to see sketch comedy. It was hard to get audiences in. And even though I really enjoyed it, it just wasn't lucrative for me. And so I just started to go back to stand-up comedy and pursue it. And within a couple of years, that's when I lucked out and got a showcase in front of Mitzi and got some people behind me, and that's how. And I never turned back. I've always stayed with it. I've never taken a break from it. You know, I hate when people are like, I took like 4 years off. And then they come back and they become super successful. And I'm like, how'd you take 4 years off? Like, who takes 4? I've never even taken, I think, more than a week.
Right.
And that's only because I was traveling or on a vacation or somebody was sick or, you know, it wasn't because I just decided. I always feel like I need to be up there doing.
Yes, I get super grumpy when I don't hold the magic talking stick.
Yeah. And it helps you through things.
It does.
And life in general.
I have done some ridiculous rants at open mics where it's not even funny. I'm just like, I need to talk, and you guys are here, and you're gonna look at your phones anyway, so I'm just gonna talk right now.
So did you just get up to do it? You never took a class, or you're just like, I've been watching this enough, now I'm gonna do it?
Well, it was kind of, okay, so we watched it, and then I fell in love, so anytime John and I would get away, we'd go there, we'd go to the store.
Yeah.
And then John, for my birthday, my 32nd birthday, was like, I want to do it. I want to try it. Or 33rd, one of them. And he went and he found an open mic, which was the haha, $5, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I did 5 minutes, my first set.
Wait, they made you pay?
You still pay.
Oh, that's so gross.
It's $10, 10 minutes, $5, 5 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Do you know, I haven't been to the ha-ha in years. I never liked the ha-ha, and I don't like that they do that to people. I think that's just, it should be first come, first serve.
That's the only time I've ever been. So I went. I didn't know any better. I did 5 minutes. Everybody was like, hey, that was your first time. You were super funny. Now, mind you, I'd watched comedy for so long. I was like, I kind of had something.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do it for like 2 years. And it was just kind of like my bucket list. And then I was massaging someone, and he's like, you're super funny. And then he got me into a class with Tom Clark.
Tom Clark. Tom Clark's so nice.
He's such a nice person.
Tom's married to Stephanie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I just did a show with them.
Oh, did
I
you?
hadn't seen Tom Clark in years, and then I finally got to meet Stephanie face to face because I had met her on social media, and she'd asked me to do her show. And I was working at the time on a TV show, so I couldn't. It was kind of hard to get away early and then get up to like Calabasas where it was. But they're such a lovely couple.
They are. And they're
both really funny, both great.
And just
I didn't know he teaches though.
He does. He has a 101 and a 102 class. I took them both, and I did my showcases at the Hollywood Improv, and then I did the World's Wittiest Woman contest at Flappers, and I got second in my night.
That's great.
And then but I would only do it maybe once every month or two.
Uh-huh.
And then this year, I've told this story, sorry guys. So this year John was like, hey, I have your New Year's resolution. And I was like, if you tell me I'm fat, I'm stabbing you with this fork after I eat this cake. And he was like, no, you're good. You love it. You enjoy it. You need to start doing more open mics. So this year I've been on stage more than all the years that I've ever presented.
Great.
And I love it. And I just, hopefully, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you have to keep on doing. That's kind of just how it works.
And then this year was also the year I started integrating massage into comedy, and it's opened ridiculous doors for me.
It's just smart. This is a hilarious yet really intelligent concept. And I can't believe people would be like, nah, I don't want to get a massage.
I've had a couple people, not very many. And then some guys get really weird. They're like, hold on, I have to think about it. Like, you just blew my mind. I'm like, okay, like, it's fine. I'm like, are you really a massage therapist? Yes, I'm certified. I'm licensed. I've done it for 11 years.
Have you ever massaged non-comedians on this show? Or you just do comedians?
Not yet, because it's so new, but I would like to get some. I mean, I have a couple people that are like actors that want to do it. Uh-huh. I have a porn star who wants to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I'm super excited because I'm like, I'll take off. She followed me on Instagram once, and I got like 50 followers within 2 minutes, and then lost them within 4, because then I was like, oh, she's not a porn star. And they were gone quickly. So, and I have a friend who is a transsexual. She's completely converted to a woman.
Right.
And she's gorgeous. So I have some people that are I tried to get Urkel to be on it the other day, but I dorked out on him. And
Urkel?
Jalil White from Family Matters.
No, I mean like real Urkel.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe. Okay. I was like, she mean like the real actor played Urkel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was short for Earl Skakel or like I was like, does he call himself Urkel? Which is kind of funny.
Which is kind of fantastic.
You're right. That's what I was like. Does Earl Skakel call himself Urkel?
No, but
okay, but that's what I thought.
It needs to happen now.
I know. Well, I'm supposed to be doing his podcast on my birthday, so I'll sit down. Tell him. I'm sure he's thought of it before.
He's got to be. He said he's going to be on my podcast, but every time I have time, he doesn't. So. But yeah, I was talking to freaking Urkel about Harry Potter and like slipping off the seat because I kept having orgasms because I'm like, I'm talking about Harry Potter with Urkel. Like, holy shit, this is my life. And then I do this podcast, and then I chickened out and didn't ask him because I'm like, I'm gonna shut up now.
Well, I bet he would have done it because what else is Urkel doing?
Right? He was. I mean,
he's not busy. Sorry, Urkel, but yeah, he's not busy.
I can always ask him, but it was fun, and it was all like Josh Adam Myers because he got us into the Roxy to massage. So I massaged at the Roxy, and that's where I started meeting all these big people.
Right.
And I got to massage in the back room at the Comedy Store, and I met like Maz Jobrani.
Here's one of the, I'll say right now, Maz Jobrani is I will say it, the hardest working comedian alive.
I could see. He's also the best smelling comedian.
He is the kindest. He is the nicest. He is such a good friend. We started about the same time. Maz Jobrani has continuously helped me, and he has been one out of maybe 3. And I know a lot of people, and he's such a good person. Tried and true. Not only is he hilarious, but he's such a dynamic person. And the only other person that worked harder than him in the business was Joan Rivers.
Okay.
But I will say right now, Maz Jobrani, I don't know anybody who works harder than him. Nobody. I mean, look at Maz. Maz has a best-selling book. He had an excellent movie. He wrote, produced, starred in. He's been on 1,000 TV shows as the lead.
Uh-huh.
You know, and he tours the world, selling out arenas. He has a family.
Uh-huh.
The guy, I mean, like, what doesn't Maz Jobrani do? He's just, I think the world of him.
Oh, I do too. In fact, I kind of told him. I was massaging him, and I'm like, okay, be cool. Don't be Joy. Like, be anybody but Joy right now. And I was super cool, and we were talking, and then he goes, oh my God, Joy, I love you. And I went, I love you too. And I was like, fuck, I was Joy. Man. And he, like, kind of laughed. And then, of course, Judd Apatow's standing right next to me. So he looked at me and, like, snorted at me like, oh, you are a nerd. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go now.
So they just hired you to work in the back room for what? Was it a show?
It was Josh Adam Meyer's show.
Uh-huh.
So I had him on the podcast, and then now I've been to his house a couple times just to give him regular massages.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, he believes in me, I guess. He has opened so many doors for me. He's amazing.
That's nice.
And he's like, Joy, you're going to the green room and you're going to massage at the Comedy Store. And then I massaged at the Roxy for the goddamn Comedy Jam.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, this is Joy. She's awesome. Everybody go to Joy. And so he's helped me so much. Him and Sandy Danto.
I love Sandy. Gosh, Sandy is... How nice is Sandy?
He's amazing. And he was at the goddamn Comedy Jam.
Uh-huh.
And he did a fantastic job. And they're just so nice to me. And they're like, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And I'm like, okay. Like, they're pushing me more than... Like, EmmaLeigh pushes me a lot, too. And they're the ones that are like, this is happening. We're going to get you spots. We're going to get you massaging people. This podcast is going to be amazing.
And it already is.
So, I love them. I love those guys.
That's good. I'm glad they're good to you.
They are. I've only met a couple that I'm weary of.
Go ahead. Spell it. Spell the T, girl.
Well, Jeff Ross,
Uh-huh.
he was like, I'll be... He goes, I'll be on your podcast. He agreed. EmmaLeigh was there. He agreed to be on my podcast. And then later on that night, he was walking away, and I'm like, hey, I'll contact you about when. And he goes, you know what? I don't want to be Me Too'd, so never mind. And I'm like, I don't want to be Me Too'd either. Like, that's not the point of this one.
I know that one's passed. Go ahead. Next.
Oh gosh, who else? Who else has been kind of weird?
Fahim, but I think I came off a little terrifying, so...
I don't see Fahim coming over here and do it. Like, he's nice, but I don't...
Yeah. And
I think he seems very practical and really nice guy. But he seems the kind of person that, has to rationalize and...
that's what he
says.
says.
He's got a schedule, and I just see him as I'm not even sure what type, like kind of like a Virgo type, that somebody that is just organized, and they have to rationalize.
Right, and it may
the situation.
I mean, maybe later I can get him, like, once I'm settled, and I know, like...
I mean, if you were a guy and you asked me to do this, I'm a really nice person, and usually I'm like, sure. Like, I'm really bad at telling people no.
I am too.
But the thing is there was a group of you, there were women, and there was just a trust that I had to have with that. But I think coming from the opposite sex, I would have just been like, oh, no way.
Right.
I
could see that.
Yeah.
And that's why I explained too. I'm like, listen, I'm not just some crazy person willy-nilly wanting to massage you. I'm like,
and they don't know that. They don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, with people like Jeff, people must approach all the time. Mm-hmm. They must act crazy. So I guess at some point you're like, people don't necessarily know.
And I got lucky. Like, Sam Tripoli, I massaged him, and he speaks ridiculously highly of me, because people are like, oh, Sam was telling me how good his massage was. So that was helpful. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm like, just tell people that it's...
You are. I mean, I was like, my husband would love Joy. Yeah, it's hard to find a good masseuse. Listen, like I said, I like talking when I'm on the table, which drives anybody who's in a couple massage with me, drives them crazy. Because when I work on like the all gay male cruises, and I usually will go with a gay friend, I'll bring them as my guest, and then I'm like, oh, let's get a couple massage. And then they'll be sitting there crying, and they're like, girl, shut up. You're talking the whole time. But, you know, I think you're great, and I'm glad that there are people that... Sam's really loyal.
Yes.
Sam is one of those people. It's like Maz Jobrani. It's someone that I started with who I just appreciate everything about him. He works hard, too.
He does.
And he's a good guy. I do. I really like Sam.
Like, his girlfriend walked in while I was giving him a massage, and he was kind of like jumping all over the table, and she gave me that look like, I know.
I love his girlfriend. My God.
She was so nice to me.
I could slow dance with her. I every time I say, I'm like, where's your girl? Where is she? He's like, oh, she's at home. And I was like, why'd you leave her there? Why are you doing this to me? But I really appreciate him.
Yes, and I mean, there's been nice people. Like,
you're naming some good, nice people.
Oh,
good.
I know, and
good.
It's really cool. Like,
haven't heard about any total cocksuckers in the mix. So
no, I mean, Wanda Sykes. She's like, I'm gonna come. She's like, I want to do your podcast, and I'm like, of course. And she's like, but I want to interview you. And I'm all like, you're Wanda Sykes, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But she's also very tiny, kind like you. Like, I'm like, don't break her.
Oh, well, it'd take a lot to break me. I'm not that. I'm not small. I'm short. Like, I'm shrinking, like a hobbit. I mean, probably I'm gonna be like the Lollipop Guild next time you see me. But I would never call myself anything like I'm a big bone girl.
No, you're not.
Oh, I am.
And then like Jessica Michelle Singleton, she said that she would do it, but
she's awesome.
I'm like, I'm gonna kill you, and she's like, that's fine. I'll just go out with joy, and I'm like, I do not want to be the one to kill you.
I love Jessica Michelle.
It's just there's so many good people. It's amazing, and all the door guys have been ridiculously nice to us. And all the door guys, because a lot of them don't have insurance, I was like, come on, I'll get you on the massage table so at least you get something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let me help you. So, I don't know. It's been fun. I haven't met too many people. Like, Steve Simone, he freaked out when I asked him. He's like, no, I don't think I'd like that at all. And I'm like, okay.
Well, some people don't like to be
massaged
or touched. Steve, yeah, God, talk about another good-hearted person.
Yes.
What he does for all the troops, and it's just someone I could just gush about as well.
Yes, and I told him, I'm like, it's fine. And he's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm all, I still love you. Your comedy cracks me up. My kids, when he comes on Sirius XM, his like Scooter and Larry and stuff like that, the kids love it. They're like, turn it up. They love him. So I'm like, it's fine. Like, you're okay. I'm not going to think poorly of you if you don't want a massage. Some people don't want to be touched. Like, it's okay.
There are a lot of people that I have a friend, she just hates massage. I'm like, how could you hate massage? I mean, I may be like nervous and uncomfortable. Like, I'm nervous when I'm nude with myself. When I'm putting others through that, it's like, I'm sorry. But in general, it's just, you know what I really like? I like when people, like, I love my best friend. She had long nails. And when she would used to like scratch my back, when I was like, junior high, I'd always be like, oh, could you, like, we were like the only two Jews in Oklahoma, and when we go to temple, I'd be like, oh, could you tickle my arms? And she would always, like, scratch my arm, like, real lightly, and I love that. And I'm one of those people, like, if you have long nails, and you just, like, put, like, a little scratch, I don't care if you're a stranger, I'll be like, could you just keep doing that? Because I really wanted to, I've talked about this, and some people think I'm crazy, but I wanted to open up like a place called like Scratchies or Tickle Me, and it's just basically people, like women with like nice nails that just do that across your whole body. And it's not a massage for people who don't really like to be touched that much, and I believe that's something people are like, oh, that's so weird, who would go to that? And I'm like, I think there would be a place for that.
A lot, yes. I've actually
if you keep it public too, it's like, they have a quote foot spas, but they're not really foot spas. And like, you go to a place and there's 4 or 5 tables or chairs or whatever in the room. So it's like, what's going to happen to you if you're lightly tickled in a room full of people?
Right. No, I've actually said that's so funny because my husband, he likes tickle scratch. So I have to do that.
It's the best.
To make him fall asleep.
Exactly. When I don't feel well, I'm like, could you please tickle my... Like, so you believe there is something there.
Oh, yeah. And then I've actually said I will hire somebody to tickle scratch John so I can actually get shit done at night. Because he's like, I was almost asleep and you stopped. I'm like, dude, I got shit to do right now. Like, the kids are asleep. It's my time.
I had thought of once at the La Jolla Comedy Store, there was a cocktail waitress there, and she had the best nails, and she would come up and start scratching like my back, and I'm like, oh my God, if I ever got to, this complacent part of my life, if I ever just started to get real success or money, instead of a personal assistant, I would just hire a tickler, and it would I'd ring the bell and I'd be like, tickler. That's who I would bring on the road with me.
Snap's not tickler.
Yeah. Well, somebody who comes and just tickles your neck or your arm or your back or your legs. It's so weird.
Well, I will grow out my nails for you.
You're going to be the tickler?
You don't have to pay me. Just give me stage
Joy.
time.
Tickler.
I will travel with you. I fit in most overhead compartments. It's fine.
You're great. But you're an excellent masseuse. You're really good. And I can tell the difference because, I told you my brother's a chiropractor. And I've been to the chiropractor masseuses, and you got mad skills, lady.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I recommend everybody.
Yes.
Get to joy.
Yes. Get some joy in your life.
That's right.
Oh, that's so cheesy. So cheesy. We have a show tonight, and it's called What's in a Name? And my whole set is about joy. Like, I just wrote it on the road here, actually. I'm like, I'm just going to talk about my name for however many minutes.
But is that what everyone has to do for that show?
No, but I'm opening, so I figured I might as well.
Oh, it's smart.
And I've got, like joy. There's a lot to go on that, so.
Well, there's got to be some basis behind you being Joy, right?
Well, my godmother her name's Joy Arlene Barnett, and then I'm Joy Eileen.
Oh, so it ran in the family.
Yeah, and then I married her son, so I married my god brother, which is kind of weird. So,
whoa, rewind.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, go back.
Okay, so my godmother so my mom and my mom's best
friend. Okay.
And then I was named after her, and then I married her son.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's weird because we also live next to each other, and so our mailman hates us.
Wait, the godmother lives next to you?
Yeah, my mother-in-law now, yeah.
I just love that story. That's so nice.
We call it the compound. It's my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and me. We all have houses, and then there's 4 apartments. And that's how we live.
I was telling them that compound means something very different when you grew up Mormon.
No, it's the same.
Yeah. She's like, you're going to come to the compound. And I was like, wait, what? When did this happen?
I tell you, those Mormon compounds, though, that's where you run if there's an apocalypse.
Yeah.
They got that shit prepared. Those big temples, they're ready to go. They're stocked, ready to roll.
Storehouse.
Yeah.
All Mormon houses, pretty much all Mormons have at least a year of food stock in their house.
That's
to plan for the apocalypse.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also to go to their planets,
All right, my dear.
Oh, that was so great.
Do you want to just plug social media?
Well, I have a 1-hour comedy special coming out, so the timing was perfect when I ran into your group the other night.
Oh, that's
and
exciting.
Was placing your face as I was staring at you, and I was like, why? I know her from something else, and that is so... Boy, that would have eaten at me if you had not told me that. Now I feel like I can sleep at night.
That's good, because I was like, should I confess? I'm just going to confess. Like, I'm the pegger.
I'm the pegger.
I'm the pegger.
It's hilarious. That was such a fun night.
I was just afraid you were going to hate me because I took the microphone. I'm like, why did I do that?
No. I don't hate you. No, you're lovely. You just touched my poor body for an hour, and I'm sorry about that.
No,
Thank
I
you.
loved every minute of it.
Thank you. And yeah, I have a 1 hour comedy special coming out August 21st, and it'll be on Amazon, and you could get it on iTunes and On Demand and Google Play, Xbox. It's a whole list of platforms that Comedy Dynamics released it on, and then the audio will come out August 24th on, name it, SoundCloud, iTunes. It'll be on, you'll hear me finally on Sirius Radio, Pandora. I already have an album out, though, that runs on Pandora. But so yeah, I'm super excited, and you can find me at on my website, hahachick, HAHACHICK.com, or at Shawn Pelofsky, which is really easy to spell. So just go search for that, because there is no other.
Yay! All right, have a good day.
Thank you.